Have you been sold an elaborate fairy tale future that just doesn't seem to be materializing? Well, that is called future faking, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I am going to share with you the most outlandish future faking stories that I fell for in my own marriage, so you're not going to want to miss them.
Welcome to the Victim to Warrior podcast.
Warrior Talk. We're John and Melissa, and we're both narcissistic abuse survivors, and our mission is to help other survivors reclaim and rebuild their lives. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for joining us, but we're also live on anywhere else you listen to your podcast.
So remember last episode, we talked about our narcissistic dictionary, or our narc-dic. Now, we had a term that we talked about last week. This week, we're talking about future faking. What is future faking?
Oh my God, these terms we have to
I know.
Okay, future faking is when someone paints a big dream, makes big promises. They paint a future of love, commitment, and fairy tale moments, all to keep you emotionally hooked. The catch is they have no intention of following through. They use your hope against you.
Right. And now, you aren't going to believe Melissa's future faking stories. They are the most outlandish stories you can even imagine. And unfortunately, I've had to hear them many, many times. But today, you get to hear them. So talk to us about your first date with this guy.
Oh my God. And future faking starts very, very early in the relationship. So if you are their target, this is going to start very quickly. Mine sent me on a scavenger hunt across the entire city. Each time I got to a location, they would have a clue for me. I went to a nautical sunglass place. They had a pair of sunglasses for me. I went to a skiing place. They had a life jacket for me and a raincoat. I went to another place where they had shorts, sweatshirt, because I was coming from work. All of these things, I went to probably 5 or 6 locations, and let me tell you, I was giddy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so freaking amazing. So I knew it was some kind of nautical theme, but I had no idea. Well, directions showed me to this gorgeous lake house. Okay, gorgeous lake house. I go into the lake house, and there's another message for me saying, hey, go change in this bedroom and meet me out back by the dock. So I put on all my nautical stuff, all my new things, and I go back and I see this beautiful boat. And of course, he's in the boat with a picnic basket. There's candles, and it's right at sunset. I mean, I was already going, I'm going to marry this man. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, yeah, exactly. So we go out on this boat and had this amazing dinner cruise. We watched the sunset, and it is an amazing evening. Okay, so I'm thinking, this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Well, unfortunately, this entire elaborate first date was based on a stolen boat, a home that was going into foreclosure, and he used his ex-wife's credit card to buy all the gifts that he sent me all over the city picking up. So that was just one of my elaborate stories. I had many.
But unfortunately, you didn't find out about these things, the foreclosure, the stolen boat, the credit card fraud, until it was too late.
Until it was way, way too late. We were married. I did marry him. I believed all these future begging stories. And oh my gosh, it cost me dearly. It was awful. So if you are in a relationship or it's just starting out and the person that you're with is rushing things, the chemistry is so strong, and they start talking about this future they see with you, this fairy tale. Who doesn't want to live a fairy tale? I mean, honestly, if this was all true, John and I wouldn't be married right now. He would have lost out on the best thing that ever happened to him.
I would have.
And me.
But it was fake.
Oh, God, it was
future faking.
It was, I laugh about it now, but it was really devastating.
Yeah.
to find out the depth and magnitude somebody will go to deceive you.
Yeah. So let's talk about give that time. Let's have time for one more story because we really need to do this. This is really great. Tell us about Aruba
Ugh, okay.
and the big old ring.
Okay.
You're not going to want to miss this.
Yeah, yeah, it's I just can't even believe I fell for it, but you know what? I can believe it because we fall for these things because how who does this? No, we don't do this, so why would we think it was a lie? Well, lo and behold, we're all this elaborate romancing. Of course, he wants to rush right into moving in together, and I'm just not real comfortable with it. So, we planned this trip to Aruba. Now, it was my son's high school graduation, so it was kind of his senior trip. So naturally, I'm paying for everything. So I invite, this person that I think I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. Now, we're not engaged. We haven't talked about marriage. He's just, wanting to move in. Now I realize it was because his home was going into foreclosure. Didn't know that at the time. So this trip, we go to Aruba and he plans this elaborate sunset evening where we take this boat out to this private island. And there's only probably 10 couples on this island. There's a band playing, everything's catered. And so we had this song that it was our song. Okay. Well, he had planned ahead for the band to actually play this song in English because it was, they were playing it in their native language. So this song starts playing. Now we're seaside, the has set, all these twinkling lights are around, everybody's at their little romantic table. And so this band starts playing this song. And so he looks at me and he, puts his hand out for us to go and dance. But no one else is dancing. It's just the two of us. So we're dancing, the band is singing this song to us. And at the end of the song, when he leads me off the dance floor, there's this bottle stuck in the sand. I literally almost stepped on it. And so he's like, "What is that?" I reached down to pick it up, and there's a diamond ring in this bottle that was buried in the sand. Now, he has told everyone about this. So now people are taking pictures. All of these people that were at the table were all part of this elaborate plan to basically have this unbelievable proposal. So when I dump the ring out, it's this massive diamond. He's down on his knees. He asked me to marry him. I am over the top. I just can't believe it. And so the rest of the evening was just a celebration. And, everyone's drinking, everyone's congratulating us, and everyone had an amazing night. And he had asked my son uh, for my hand. Okay, he did that before we went out onto this island. Now, my son was with his friends, so they all knew what was happening. We get back, so there's more celebrations going on. So I am over the moon. I can't believe it until things started going bad after we're married. Okay, after we're married, when
Really bad.
I mean, the entire trip was on my credit card and everything, the
Now,
financial ruins.
tell us about this massive
Well,
diamond
I'm going with this.
that you
I'm going with this. And now he had prepared a fake appraisal, a fake certification, and he told me that he insured the diamond. So who wouldn't believe that? I mean, it's massive. It was like 4 carats. So after we're in the middle of a divorce, I have a restraining order against him. Things are so horrible. I'm financially in a bind because we're in a divorce. They froze my assets. He filed a lien against my house. I mean, it was awful. So I was like, I have to sell this ring. So I went to a jeweler that was a family jeweler. I bought everything from him. I actually helped his family get into business through our bank. So I go to them. They know that I'm going through a really, really horrific situation. And so I go and I talk to he and his wife. And I said, "Listen, I've got to sell this. I know you buy jewelry. You'll give me a fair price. Here's the appraisal." And so they said, "We will absolutely give you a fair price." So they took it back to have it, I guess, examined and to give me an offer. And when I saw their faces coming back out of the office, they were actually crying. They had, because I had known these people for like 20 years. And I'm like, okay, they're not going to be able to afford to give me the money for this ring. What am I supposed to do? They came out and told me the ring was fake, that the appraisal was fake, the certification was fake. I honestly, I had so many horrific things done to me by this man that I looked at them and I said, of course it is. Of course it's fake. I just could not believe it. I could not believe the magnitude that they go to deceive you. So those are just two stories. That was the start story in the beginning, and this was like one of the end stories when the marriage was going down the
Right.
I saw you, slave.
So these were horrific stories, and we kind of look back and we kind of laugh at them now because they're just
There's just so
really
over the top.
where they came from. But we would love for you to share your future faking stories with us and everyone else in this community too, because I think people would really appreciate hearing that it's happened to them too. And so they don't feel so alone that they don't
Or
feel
they
like,
don't feel like they were stupid
right.
because you were duped. And no one does this. I mean, this is not something a normal person would do. So another normal person who's on the receiving ends has no idea that this is all an elaborate lie. So yeah, like John said, put it in a comment.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your story.
It really helps.
Especially if you're on the other end and you realize it's future faking. Now, if you don't know if it's you future faking or not, but you're going through this right now, just in the comments, put the word quiz in the comments, and we're going to send you a quiz. Are they a narcissist? This is a perfect time for you to find out what you're dealing with. If what you're going through doesn't feel right, if something feels off about this, the best thing for you to do is to take the quiz. Yes. It's about 15 questions. You go through it, and then it totals it up and scores it for you and lets you know if your score is this or higher, you're with a narcissist. Yeah. If you don't know that, you're with one. And what happens at that point, you realize this is not going to ever change. It's going to slowly get worse. And then it's going to turn into a situation like Melissa and I dealt with, which was a very, very difficult divorce situation and where they try to ruin your life. So it's better to find that out right now.
Right. And some of the signs, if you go back and you start, always trust your gut, because when you start feeling a little uneasy, or maybe the promises are kind of falling through, but then they have an excuse as to why they're falling through. They potentially blame you for the reason they're falling through, or they're saying you're pushing them, rushing them. Um, these are red flags for you. These are things that your brain is telling you, this might not be real. When people's words and actions don't align, that is a definite red flag. So don't be afraid to call them out. Don't be afraid to say, well, this is what you said. That's why journaling is so important. My gosh, I know I'm a broken record when I say this. Journaling, write things down. Your brain plays tricks on you. It forgets things, but when you write things down, it doesn't. My journal actually saved me. But write things down, because when they're making these promises, but then they're not following through, you have every right to question them. Don't feel like, well, things are so good, I don't want to rock the boat, or I don't want to act like I'm insecure or needy. Who cares? This is your future.
Yeah.
I promise you, if you're with a narcissist, this future they're promising you is never going to happen. It's going to destroy your life. So, looking at it early on, when things don't feel right, when things don't sit right, when things aren't coming through like they're promising, these are things you cannot ignore. So please, please don't. If you need help, John and I are certified coaches. We'll put our links below as well. We'd love to help you deal with some of this stuff, because sometimes you just need to talk it out.
Well, right.
You need to let
Especially from someone who has been through it. Right.
Lord, yes, absolutely. So either one of us, we'd love to hear what you're going through, and we'd love to be able to help you out of it, because you do feel alone. You do feel like you don't want to spoil this chemistry. You don't want to spoil what could be your future. But if you're with a narcissist, it will never be your future. Oh my gosh, we've helped so many people who were right on the cuff of falling into that pit of despair like I did when I had no one to turn to. I had no one to discuss this with. And I fell for it, and it literally almost destroyed my life.
Yes, it's definitely years to recover.
Oh gosh, it's the financial ruin. Oh, absolutely. So we want to help you out of it. If you're in it, we would love to be able to hear your story and give you ways to start working your way out of it, or at least ways for you to know whether or not they're a narcissist or not, and whether or not what they're telling you is true, or they're just leading you along, using your hope against you, using your hope for this bright fairy tale future dangling in front of your eyes. That's never going to happen. We would love to be able to help you get out of that situation so you are not that victim.
Right. Now, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. We're trying to build this channel to help as many people as possible, but you'll be able to stay tuned for the next episode where we'll recover another term. And if you hadn't missed our previous episode where we talk about flying monkeys, yes, what a crazy term. So make sure you check out that episode if you missed it. And please like this video. And also, again, please comment and share with us what you're going through right now.
We would.
To hear
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys following us, and we hope that you will join us for our next episode of Warrior Talk.